Oh, it's okay.
Um,
Are we on now?
no, I think it's quite. In have you ever been London? Right, of course.
Yeah. I worked there for a bit.
Right. So, did you live?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was working at Foot Patrol, which is like a
Okay.
little shop on Soho, and they paid for my accommodation down there in King's Cross, Houston.
Nice. So I'm like, this is just my problem. I've never been in UK, so I'm trying to like kind of imagine what's happening. You know, what's the culture going on. Like, my opinion was kind of like, I think especially London, people are being very colorful.
Yeah.
Like being like kind of someone else. You know what I mean? So do you feel that way if you go to London? Or
it's interesting because the thing is, in the UK, there's definitely that acceptance, kind of like you are what you are, and no one, like, obviously there are, you know, bad people and people that judge, but as a majority, people just seem to be like accepting of everything. But I think still in London, I found, you know, there was one thing that's cool, and you kind of had to be part of that, or you're not. They didn't. I mean, I wasn't there for long, but certainly in the UK, like Nottingham, where I am, like, it's I don't know. It's hard to kind of communicate what I'm thinking about it, but I feel like everyone, as much as we can be individual and everything's accepted, it's still quite a big thing for someone to kind of just say, all right, I'm doing this from now on, or actually I want to be like this. I think there's still a certain acceptance that everyone really wants.
I think like I've never, like, you know, this is like no idea, like your home, like your house, like where you're living, is it quite countryside, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, hold on,
like,
let me show you.
Yeah. How?
Google Maps. Where I live is quite nice. I'll tell you what. So this is like where I live. Not in this house, but this is an abandoned castle next to where I live. So I live like here.
Wow.
Do you see these houses? And I go up on runs, and this has all been like closed off to the public. It's built in like 1400s. And I go on runs, and we know the ways in, and we stand up here. Yeah, that's kind of where I live. So Derbyshire, I'll show you.
Yeah.
It's like this is typical Derbyshire. So it's really nice.
It's beautiful.
So when I go to my girlfriend's house, we have to pass this house, which is Chatsworth. Yeah. So like we drive past this house. So like we really live in a nice place, you know.
Do you have a car?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because I'm in the middle of nowhere, I kind of need a car. I can't really get anywhere. My brother, he's a bit younger. He's got a bike, so he cycles. He doesn't get very far.
I mean, like, okay, where do you guys like go to, like, you know, have a drink or like some like yeah.
So I mean, where I study. By the way, my A key isn't working, so I can't type A. So this is Nottingham.
I see.
This is where I go into town, and like
that's
I'll
the
show
town.
you.
Okay.
Place Market. This is where I study.
Ooh.
So these are my rooms here. It's an original like lace market studio. But that's about 25-minute drive up the motorway. But the thing is, as much as we're isolated here, like in a countryside, the UK is really compact, like really small. For an island, you know, like we can get to, like London's only about an hour and a half, and Nottingham's 20 minutes. Yeah, so it's not far really to get to cities.
What do you do?
When I'm in town.
I mean, like in general, when you have day off.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time with my girlfriend. To be honest, because I was asked this by someone, and it really wound me up that I didn't have an answer. Because I've been 7 days a week, you know, like I've for the past year, I've been 4.5 days a week at college in Nottingham, and then 2.5 at Vivian Westwood, which is this building here. Yeah, that looks like me. It's not me, but it looks like me. Yeah.
I see. So you don't really have day off?
I don't have a day off. Because I travelled in every day, and it took a long time to get into town because of rush hour. I used to sleep on people's sofas, you know, like through the week, because I just couldn't travel all that way. I spend like £400. But yeah, on a day off, mate, I'd go camping, I reckon. I'd go. Well, I think we're gonna maybe I'm being dramatic. I do stuff on my days off. Like I've been playing football with my friends yesterday, or not yesterday, day before. Went on a run, and my legs, I literally can't stand up. I've rolled onto my chair.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, I like go camping. We're going swimming tomorrow.
Okay.
I try and take a notebook and a sketchbook and draw. And I like playing my guitar a lot.
I mean, can you go back to your profile, your bio?
Yes, of course. I look quite morbid, don't I? Quite sad.
I think I mean, like I'm not from the city as well. I'm like seeing the picture, it's quite similar.
Yeah.
Well, of course, different version, but like where I'm from is actually very like just a forest, you know.
Really?
Yeah, like
cool.
my town, 89% is forest.
Let me look it up. Do you know what's it called?
Yeah, Kochi. CHI.
Oh, CHI.
Japan.
Oh.
This is city, kind of city you are looking at.
Yeah.
But the green, you know, that's the, you know, type of vibe. Yeah. So we have like beautiful forest and then river, like very humid, like that, like smells like always like kind of like, you know, like fungi-ish, like foresty, you know, like smell.
Did you enjoy it? Did you like living there?
Yeah, like this is my favorite place.
Good.
All the time. Yeah. I
always think about that, you know, when I speak to people that live in New York or places like this, I'd love to visit this. Like, this is incredible. But if I lived here, like people probably want to come and visit where I live, and I think, what are you doing? So it's interesting to me whether people that grew up there really loved it or not. So I think like, you know, hearing like your story and then remembering my, you know, the past as well, I quite had like very similar feeling when I was teenage, like 18, 19 years old, before I moved to Tokyo. Yeah.
So I literally saw everyone's doing same things, you know, especially with like friends, you know what I mean? Like same generation wearing very similar, you know, items because we just kind of feel, oh, this is a typical trendy, cool stuff.
Yeah.
People want to buy it, you know, and then online shopping, blah, 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 blah. Especially girls, they had very similar hairstyle. And the makeup, you know, even the diet as well. You know, people wanted to be that type of shape, and everyone is like loving it. So you know, so kind of like we are trying to figure out the identities, but at the same time, like we don't really do that. Like we have it, but we don't know what to do. You know, how to like express ourselves. You know,
I totally agree.
We don't want to be kind of uncool, like, you know, we don't want to be tacky, you know, type of style, you know, we still want to be cool in the definition of the friendship, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of becoming like same, you know what I mean? Same hairstyle.
It sounds exactly the same.
I think that's kind of like, it's because of like you are living in a little bit like countryside, you know, then of course, like, you know, being a city, there's like many people don't really care others' opinion, you know what I mean? Like we wanna just be like whatever, you know. So then I think this is like kind of like very like starting point, which is very nice. You know, I had a like literally kind of like reflecting to me as well. Then I mean like kind of like even moved to Tokyo, I couldn't really. I had an identity. It's because like my accent, Japanese accent, is quite different. So people like people like, wow, your accent is quite funny. So I was like, oh, thank you. So that became my very strong identity. Moved to the city. So people like, oh, this like countryside boy, you know, just like, you know, came to the city, and I kind of like had a style. So I have like same hairstyle like in 9 years. So as soon as I moved to Tokyo, I start like doing this hairstyle. So kind of like, you know, I was just like, you know, like creating my style, but I didn't have this hairstyle when I was in the city with my friends. Because like it's not cool. It's kind of like too much. People are gonna judge me so much, you know what I mean? So after, you know, I left my friends, like kind of physically, I just start like kind of exploring myself, you know, what I really wanted to be. And then I was in love with Jesus, like as a visual. I'm not, and I don't have any religions, but like I love the visual of Jesus, you know. Oh my God, this guy is so cool, you know. Having like long hair and a very like kind of like kind of like bony, you know, kind of, you know, shape.
I always found it so interesting with Jesus, like the different interpretations in every country. Like in the UK, he's quite a scrappy, white-haired, long-haired, you know, figure. And then you go, I've been to like Spain and stuff, and he's like, you know, like really beautiful, like really well-toned guy. And then you go somewhere like France and he's really poorly, you know, like it's odd, the different, I've always thought the embodiment of Jesus is so interesting.
Jesus, like,
what was he like?
I think like, you know, I was traveling like different countries. So like, you know, just like my hobby, you know, I just wanted to like see different places. Then I was always in love seeing Jesus, like poor, but at the same time so beautiful, you know what I mean? That kind of contradictions, you know? So kind of like also like looking at Jesus, it's not always comfortable, you know what I mean?
Because like, he's often strong.
But somehow beautiful, somehow sad, you know what I mean? Like that kind of like combination feeling, I just really like loved, you know. I was like, oh, I want to be kind of like that guy, you know, just like visually, you know. So I just like started, okay, that's my goal, you know. I want to be like this. So then I think that's like my starting point to like kind of like finding my, you know, style, not like really caring about others, especially my friends, like, you know, similar age friends' opinion, you know. I think like, oh no, like I'm gonna just be like that way. Then I think and then also like moving to New York after my Tokyo's experience, I just realized like I saw I'm not really caring others when I was in Tokyo, but I was, I just realized after I moved to New York, I was like, oh, why am I like over dressing up every single time? You know what I mean? So I like moved to New York, I became like Japanese, I'm like as a Japanese, it became such a strong identity, So like anything I wear, people like, oh my God, like you are from Japan, that seems
Really?
cool, that seems cool,
That became your identity in a way.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, like I don't even like dress up enough, I thought like I was too casual now, but like they're like, oh, like you look like samurai, you have long hair, black hair, yeah. So like kind of like the identity is shaped, you know what I mean? Like I just realized like I already have like very strong identity as a style. And that's kind of entertaining to others, like international people, like not Japanese. So I was like, this is literally like I've never known, like like Tokyo, people like, oh, you like I had like great like stuff like the garments, because I like same like you, I was working at the select shop. I could buy like nice things, with sale,
Yeah.
So I was overdressing up with like brand, outfit, So I was quite like spending so much money to like, buy those stuff as well. But moving to New York, I was literally wearing like $1 t-shirts, just like so cheap stuff. And also I'm still wearing $1 black t-shirts. That's just $1.
Yeah.
So I just realized, I think like the right now, like I got who I am, you know what I mean? I don't really need to kind of like tell people like or I need to like dress up to kind of excuse, my identity to others. I just like, okay, I can speak, I can like, tell you who I am, you know what I mean? Like I just like got confident, and then I just like stop, kind of like directing myself, you know what I mean? That way, like kind of like, when I was like young, I was trying to kind of like be a stylist myself, you know what I mean? Styling that way and behaving that way, you know what I mean? I'm like literally directing, who I am, you know what I mean? So that was...
I don't know if I think that deeply into that. I haven't got a lot of clothes, but the stuff I have is really nice. So, but I end up wearing the same thing a lot, and like on occasion I'll make something. But like identity-wise in clothing, I'll just wear a black jumper, like nothing too out there. But if it's a nice piece that's out there, I'll buy it. So yeah, I don't know. That finding that identity, I guess, when you left Tokyo and went to America, would it be the same for me if I went to Tokyo and I spoke, Japanese? Would I kind of play on the, kind of become more British in my style and wear baggier jeans? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like, this is like very like, you will experience like for sure if you like as soon as you go study abroad or like live in different countries, your like identity as a British becoming more. You just realize, oh, like that's actually who I am. You know what I mean? Definitely, that's like portion. And then also you're from countryside in UK. That also becoming another identity. And then I'm guessing your accent is different from other city in UK, no?
Yeah, so I came from Middlesbrough, which is like the top.
Okay.
So north, near Scotland. And they say like, so the word no? They say nor.
Okay.
So it's like, when it's snowing, you say or nor, snore.
Oh.
So they're really hard to understand. So we spoke like that. So I'm quite northern, and we'll say like shut up. So like shut. Whereas in the south they'll say shut up. So like it's dead different. So we're quite northern, really.
I mean, like for me, like I don't really have like British friends. I have a couple, but not really. So like all of my like friends speak like American English, right? Then also like, I have like Asian international, like, friends as well. So like everyone has like a different accent, like like New York, like everyone's different, and then like talking to you, it's like for me, like, you are like, English different compared to, my American friends. So that's like 100%. Really strong identity to me,
Yeah.
So, but like, where, like, you are living UK and then, being surrounded by like your friends, like British friends, then, really like understand, like how it's kind of like interesting,
And and if we all kind of were like, that was it, that was our identity, if all my mates were like, my identity is British, we'd just be the same. Do you know what I mean? We'd all have the same. So you kind of have to be different within your individuality. But if I went to America, I'm sure that I'd become more British, because we, as much as we're, very similar, the UK and America, but the accents are very different. And like the English,
and then like,
and the slang.
I think you will never understand, like, kind of like the feeling of like here, like in UK, like of course, like everyone like speaking like same. So like first time, like you said like mate to me, I was like, that was first time in my life.
No way.
Yeah, like someone called me mate. I was asking to like my friend like from Ireland, what's difference like calling like mate or like bro or dude? You know what I mean? Like no one really say mate.
I didn't know.
Yeah, like no one really say mate, here. So I was like, oh yeah, first time, like mate. I just really,
that's all we say here.
Right? So those small things becoming so interesting,
Yeah, we say mate a lot. It's like, oh, you're right, mate. How you doing, mate? That's all we say.
Yeah. So that like small things, like, it's like, for me, it's very strong your identity to me, but like not to your friends, of course, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think like, finding identity is like difficult. At the same time, it's quite like somehow easy, you know what I mean? If you understand, if you have more people, to kind of like tell you like who you are, and then you're gonna like understand, you know what I mean? Like any single time you say mate, it's quite like still unique to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like very like, different feeling.
What do they say in America then?
Dude or
dude.
Bro.
Yeah, we say bro, but not dude.
Yeah, I think like dude, like more dude.
My dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like I think like I don't know, like like New York City, like LGBTQ, like that's like huge as well. Yeah. So people always calling each other like bitch or like some sort of like shit, or like those like words like happening in fashion industry as well.
Okay, yeah, we'd say that.
Yeah, so that's like something. I don't say anything like any word, I don't really say like dude or bro or something. I don't do that way, but like people like say that, so like that's different. So I think like that's like I just think my language Japanese has different structure as well. The grammar is like opposite. How we speak is like totally different. So like I respect that, man. Like, but when I was in Japan, I don't like the Japanese culture at all, That's why I left. But now I very appreciate. I always like say people I'm from Japan, and then I can explain like how Japan is great, you know what I mean? Yeah. And also like as soon as I left Japan, I also realized like oh, this is good. At the same time, this is bad, you know what I mean? So like that combination literally kind of pushing me to be individual, not just being Japanese, typical Japanese, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a kind of like the way. So that's this like profile, like your bio is quite interesting. It's quite sounds like you living in UK with that age, you know what I mean? Like that's like for me, you know what I mean? But like not definitely to your friends or like someone living like your neighbor. So I think that's definitely like showing me the identity already.
Okay.
So that's quite like interesting. But I think like the main point is like finding your individuality, individual like identity compared to your friends.
Well, this is where I've had issues in the past with like applications and stuff. It's like you said, and that when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, I get that. You could see that I was trying to say something, and that my work was trying to communicate something, but I don't. Other than like what I wrote there, the exposure thing, I don't know what it is. It's not. I want to say like to everyone I meet, like do this, but I don't know what it is that I'm actually trying to say.
Right. I like yesterday I was like adding the subtitles, like Japanese subtitle, like for our conversation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like trying to kind of of course like I'm very clear what I'm saying, right? I'm like typing, and some point like most of them like what you said like clear. I just like could that, but some part when we talk about I think we talk about the horse leather stuff, kind of like Vivian Westwood is like, cooperating with like Butcher Place,
Yeah.
and then Louis Vuitton is like, feeding cows for just producing leather. Then that like I think I found you are like kind of the point was like you have knowledge, you understand what's going on, right? So you you do study. And you gave me the information, but you didn't really tell me the feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like typing, and then suddenly like your conversation stopped. You know what I mean? You know that. Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think like that's, and then like I was also like rewatching your report. That totally makes sense. If we analyze, the conversation.
Yeah.
So I think like, but it's not the issue. I think like, of course, just like those things are based on experience,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think what we identified as well, you said that like my portfolio is really, information based, and like you said academic and stuff, but it's the personal bit that, why. So I needed to do the why. I remember my English teacher used to say like, pee on everything. And we were like, what? So P is PEE, so point, so say your point, and then explain, and then expand.
Expand. Okay.
I think so, mate. It was a long time ago. But yeah, she used to shout at us like, pee on everything before you go into the interview or the exam.
Okay.
I just remembered that. So maybe I need to do some more peeing.
Right. I mean, like, so this is quite interesting. Like, that's from English teacher.
Yeah.
So like I like, like, of course I was trying to design something, when I was like junior or like, I think like junior or something. I tried very hard to find own design, which I couldn't really achieve. I was like struggling so much. My design teacher literally told me like in front of like everyone, like, hey, Sho, you should do masturbation. Yeah, and I'm like, wow. Like, like think about, I think like in Japanese culture, it's so strict. Like we don't really say like bad word, So like teachers like, Sho, you should do like masturbation. I was like, what? Like, there. He was like, oh yeah, like, what I mean? Like designing the same way of masturbating, like, So, if you, like, you should be in love, you should be so satisfied, what you create, You don't need to care to people. You just do masturbation. That's design, And that quite makes sense, what I mean? I was like, I always cared, what people are gonna see, me or like my work. So I was always caring, like, oh, what people gonna think, people gonna think that's cool, or like, it's too much or something, what I mean? And the teacher is like, don't care, like you don't need to care. You just do masturbation every single time. Then that literally changed my mind, Okay, that makes sense, And I think quite like same to you, man.
Yeah.
Anytime you do, you are doing just for yourself,
Yeah.
You just like loving it, you just being satisfied,
Yeah.
So that's like masturbating, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I need to explain a little bit more why I'm doing it.
Yeah. Yes. So I think like, that kind of creation is like freedom, you know what I mean? Like you can do like anything, like, just you want. So you can do like any sort of like subject you can just express. Then I think your portfolio doing quite nice, I think you are expressing through your work, for sure. But your dog, that's cute.
He's a guard dog. Ooh. Not really a guard dog. He's just naughty. Oh, okay. Delivery driver. He's really young.
Okay. Yeah, but the things like I think you're doing like nice, and that you just like kind of need to figure out how to speak. I think your work is speaking. I think you are just presentation. You know what I mean? I think that's also the point. And then the presentation. Do you watch mirror and seeing your face? Like do you like mirror?
No, this is my bedroom. There's no mirrors.
So I think I see. So
and when my girlfriend comes over, she has to do the makeup. So she has this.
I see. Okay, so I think so like let's say rubbing ourselves, it's not sounds cool, right?
Yeah.
Kind of if we are like young,
Yeah.
Oh, to like loving, like it sounds like so stupid, like loving yourself.
Yeah.
It's not a cool word when if I was teenage, right? But the things, when you talk about your work, you must love yourself.
You have to understand yourself as well.
Yeah. So kind of like, so the way I'm asking like if you have mirror is because as soon as you talk about your work, you should start watching your face, talking to yourself using mirror. That's I did. Like I was so bad speaker. Like I couldn't really speak, explain anything about my work. But I just needed to get in, like not like school, but like the scholarship, I just need to explain why I need scholarship, why I'm good, why I'm talented, why you need to support me, you know what I mean? So I should be like very confident, because they are might gonna like, support me. They don't want to support if I'm not loving myself or if I'm not confident,
If you're not
I
sure.
think that's the same things like when you do the interview to the school, you must kind of like convince them you are good enough, you are like ready to go, So that's the exercise, like talking to just yourself. First time it's so shame, it's kind of like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you just like kind of realize as soon as like you start speaking about your work, you're not gonna look at their eyes. That's kind of off, you know what I mean? That kind of behavior you're gonna realize, Oh,
it's really odd because I'm like really confident, really here. Like I'm pretty outspoken, and but I think the more. So I your friend Kozabro, he had a video on his Instagram about social media and Facebook and stuff. And what was the graph? The Deutschman graph or something. Let me find it. And it kind of related to me because I think the more, here it is, the Dunning-Kruger effect.
What's that?
Okay.
Would you mind to share?
Yeah. So like, I'll send you a photo. When you kind of know more. Okay, this is it. I'll send it you. So I think when I first moved to Nottingham, I was at the top there. I know everything. And then the more I kind of learned and got told that I wasn't, amazing with everything, and the more I understood myself, I kind of went down this vocal bit. So what this graph's saying, you're the most vocal here when you actually don't know that much. And then the more you learn, you're like, oh shit, I didn't know anything. And now I'm kind of, I think it's starting to make sense again. Like, I think I want to say I'm there because I definitely have felt like I'm never going to understand this. Like, I've definitely been through that stage.
I see. I think that's, just like spending time gonna help you. Like, that's for sure, No worries. I'm like this type of person as well. Like, like that's like something like we just need to like overcome again, like every single time, So
I'll stop the share. I'll put it back on if you want.
Yeah. So let's talk about the profile. I think would you mind to share the ad about your plan about school?
Oh yeah, sure. The which one? Sorry, the motivational letter.
So after, go back bio.
Bio.
So bio. So after the graduated UAL, after that, like, would you mind to type
down here?
Yeah. So like which school you are going, and then like which school you are thinking to enroll.
Okay. Wait, so which one I've got into?
From this September, no?
Yeah.
No, next September.
No, this September.
2021.
2020.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah, I saw like I don't know, somehow I saw like now it's October. I don't know.
I understand.
Okay. Then and not on to then
I'll put fashion design, shall I?
Yeah. And then also like mention, like I think at this point you still want to go to Antwerp, right? So kind of like planning.
Yeah.
At this point, you can like update, any single time,
Okay, I'll just write under here Antwerp.
Yeah. I think like that's something like I want to kind of do the record at this moment,
Yeah. Oh mate, I have been thinking about it a lot. Whether to go to Westminster or not, it's tough. Because a big part of me doesn't want to spend another year out. But a big part of me knows that I'm going to Westminster because I didn't get into Antwerp. So
let's mention this. Okay. Even though like you are like got exception, you are still like in the middle, Just kind of like talk about Antwerp you couldn't get in, but that things,
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
So that things.
What do you think, Sho, that I should do?
Go to
Westminster or spend another year and reapply to Antwerp?
So going to Westminster, like what's the kind of like constellation you have? Like because like going to the university, you gonna like spend so much money for sure.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna lose anything. You're still studying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so it's 16,000, but I don't have to pay it back until I start making loads of money.
$60,000.
16. It's 10 for the course, and then accommodation's about 7. But yeah.
For a year, right? Another
1 year. 1 year. Whereas Antwerp's like 2,000.
I know. So Westminster. So if you go to Westminster, you're not gonna reapply to Antwerp, or like you still?
Maybe, but I don't know. I think that they might not like that I've done a first year. Also, part of me wants to get the you mentioned the Y project.
Mm-hmm.
A part of me wants to do that, because if I moved away, I think it would that's why Antwerp was like, I need to go.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it would be beneficial for me to get away. Like the idea of spending another year in my bedroom in the countryside is just like I'm not going to develop the amount I think I want to and need to.
Yeah, that's true. I think like so if you're not going to like Westminster, what are you gonna do? So like
I would like to get the internship.
I see.
Or travel or study somewhere. A friend
So
of mine.
I think like this is very much depends on your future plan. Like what kind of designers? Of course, it's difficult, at this moment. But kind of like think what's your kind of happiness?
Okay.
Like like eventually, like people like think, oh, what kind of job am I gonna do? What type of like designer? But in the end, like people want to be happy.
Yeah.
So just think, kind of like, oh, going there Westminster, still in UK, but you are still studying somehow. Do you think it's kind of happy, or you are trying to commit, like something, or like kind of moving around if COVID is like, ends. So like you moving around and then seeing different, people, meeting and talking and experiencing something new. So like at this moment, which is happy.
The second one.
Yeah, then go for it. Like.
Yeah, I just think a part of me is always going to be. I think Westminster is a good course, and like it's not easy to get on. I need to accept that. But it's really good, and there's a lot. I'm very similar to what I want to do, but I want to choose. I want to choose Westminster.
Right. I think like for me, I basically cannot really take huge risk.
I know, yeah.
Right. So then, if money doesn't really matter, then go just in case. But if it's huge things.
I mean, the thing is, it doesn't. So no one pays it. So if I do it, I don't have to pay it until I'm making. I don't know. I think it's 30,000 a year. Like I'm on a salary. So in a couple of years' time, and then they'll only take a certain amount. So it's not like it's big debt.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also planning on making like a lot of money. So
like let's say you also apply to CSM, right?
Yeah.
So why?
Why did I apply to CSM?
Yeah.
I partly because you have to. Like, if you're in the UK and you're doing fashion design, you just kind of have to give it a go.
Right.
But they didn't get back to me at all. So I ended up withdrawing my application. So I think I could have got it personally, but obviously I didn't. But I don't know if I wouldn't.
So let's say if you got in CSM, would you go?
Before I didn't get it, before I hadn't got any places, so I hadn't got Kingston, I hadn't got LCF, I hadn't got Westminster or CSM. Westminster and Kingston were my favourite, and CSM was just a bit too much for me. I think I didn't think I would have enjoyed it, and the people I know that were there, and the stress, and the kind of idea that we're CSM, so you have to make the work, and it will be good, didn't make sense to me. Like I want to bounce, and I want to work with tutors and students, as well as it being an individual. It felt like too stressful.
Right.
But then a part of me does want to go.
Right. Yeah, I think that's confusing. I think I think I would enroll Westminster just in case, because like you still have summer vacation, you still have winter vacation, those things. You can still travel.
I can drop out.
Do internship, you know.
Yeah.
If money doesn't matter, you know what I mean? I think just be there, see the people. I'm sure it's gonna be like a little bit like international feeling as well.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna maybe like, you know, want to really compete, you know, each other. It's gonna push you, you know, to make things. Then I would reapply different schools while I'm in the school.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so just make it busier. Do this, that, you know what I mean? Do everything, you know?
I get that. Some people have said that they might not want to take you because you've done a first year at a different school. So you've learned something else. But I don't know if that's true.
Oh, to Antwerp.
Yeah, so if I've done a year at Westminster, I've learned the first year of a BA. So if I go to Antwerp and do a first year at a BA there.
So that definitely you cannot transfer.
On second year?
No.
No.
So if you wanna do transfer, it's gonna be so much harder. People not gonna like don't wanna take you. That's.
I don't know. Maybe that's what it's been said.
I think like, you know, transfer student Antwerp don't wanna take you.
No.
No. So the apply Antwerp means like applying as a foundation again.
Yeah.
Which is very common sense, you know what I mean? Like my friends like went Antwerp, they went different school, they already studied like 2 years like fashion foundation or something, and then they apply and then enroll as a foundation student. Yeah, so like my friend like currently like go in Antwerp, he was also taking a CSM foundation course.
Yeah.
I think he went somewhere. No, I think like he just took like 1 year off and just developing his portfolio, and then they applied to CSM and the Antwerp, and he got in. But I think like even though you're gonna do your first year, right, at the Westminster, or junior year.
It'd be first year.
First year, second year, third year, and the final, no?
No, first year, second year, third year, last year.
Oh, you're gonna do the junior
of a BA. So I think what your friend did is he took the year out.
Yeah.
So he's done what he's here where I am. He's just done the foundation. So,
but after you enroll in Antwerp, it's gonna be 4 years, isn't it? If you wanna do MA, no.
Yeah,
like
because
4
they
years
do
gonna be MA.
3 years for the BA, and then they have 4 year MA.
Right. So like the my like another case is like my friend did like BFA. He has BFA and applied to Antwerp for the like BFA, and he got interview, of course, you know, through the portfolio, and then the jury said that like, oh, why are you applying to BFA? You know, why?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, it's because I'm like I wanna like know, you know, the different type of like education, and they literally rejected in the end. And mention it, you should apply to MA, you know, not that course. So I think that's true. If you like make like kind of like experience like shaped different style, it's kind of tough. But I think like doing junior year in different university and applying to like Antwerp, if it's transfer, I think it must be tough.
Yeah.
But they applying to the first year, I think it doesn't really reflect, I guess.
Okay.
But if you still think Antwerp is your number one, then focus, I guess. But you also need to like, you know, think if you couldn't, like, you know.
Yeah. I need a plan as well for this year. Like I need to know if I don't go, what am I going to do?
I think that's like I'm like sharing like different schools as well. You know, Antwerp is like one of the choice, you know.
Yeah.
And then the university Vienna, it's probably your like another choice.
Definitely, but that's it, mate. Your friend, she had 5 years shirt making experience.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but I think it's kind of like depends on you. Like if you're gonna take like 1 year off, you can definitely apply different schools.
Yeah.
IFM definitely yes, in Paris.
But aren't they the best for MA, not BA?
IFM.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like it very much depends. Like Antwerp, Vienna, I think those are like the best.
St. Martin's.
Mm-hmm.
And there was another one, but I forgot. Yeah, those ones would be nice. I'll just take those. I'll have all 3.
I mean,
this is a worry. This is my thoughts constantly.
I know.
Do I take the year?
I mean, like going to Westminster not gonna be like worst. It's gonna be like great for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, like the school does matter, but doesn't really matter. It very much depends on you. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But like, where you're living is so much matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my concern. I think like if I go any other schools in New York, I think I would have good experience. I would grow somehow different, but like where I'm living is most important things. Like for me, to kind of shape me, kind of like finding my future plan, what I'm gonna do, So that's my concern. I think like for you, like since like your struggle is like maybe being like living UK entire your life becoming problem now, you know what I mean? I think like the suggestion is like going like out for internship and then living there at least like 3 months, but short time period living versus being student in the country, in different countries, totally different, It's like literally different. Like, so that's kind of my concern. But if you don't mind to do another first year at Antwerp, I think you could go Westminster.
Yeah. Okay.
But you cannot like put your school assignment as your portfolio.
Yeah, I think you can.
I mean, like I don't suggest you to do that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, don't combine the school assignment.
Okay.
To the portfolio. Portfolio must be, different. Assignment. So then I think you'll be fine. So the people were saying to you, like, if you do like another school, like they're gonna get style, you know what I mean? Based on the assignment, what project they are working on.
Yeah.
Those like, styles, like Antwerp that doesn't want to have,
Yeah.
So, but I think like in terms of like, profile, I think it's great. Do you think when you can share with this profile?
Finish this. I can finish this by today.
Okay, perfect. And then
how much would you like 2 more paragraphs or more?
A little bit more, but I think now it's kind of enough. What's important is like your kind of situation, enrolling or not, thinking, do internship all over, you know what I mean? The kind of honesty. Just put, this is the, like, showcasing the reason why we are doing this, you know what I mean?
Okay.
That's very important, your situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So add that, and then the report. Let me check. So the report, what you are saying is like nice. Would you mind to like add at least 3 pictures of anything?
Okay.
So kind of like somehow like relating what you are saying. It could be anything, you know what I mean? So
yeah, we can do that.
For example, like, you are talking about the lecture yesterday. So just like, screenshot or, or
of
like,
my notes.
Yeah, that kind of like your like note or something.
Okay.
Yeah, like your sketchbook or like your memo or something.
I drew a shirt because her shirts were so interesting, so I can send that.
Yeah. Nice. You're like a very good like illustrator.
Thank you.
It is
Well,
great.
you say that, and then you see this.
Ooh, that's nice.
That's her balloon heads. So not that good.
I mean like screen is very small, you know. Like I cannot.
Yeah. I wanted to look interested in like what she's doing, so I was like,
no. I mean like no. Like you are sharing your screen, so I cannot really see your drawing. Let me see again. That's cute.
So that's the hair.
Yeah, that's
the head. That's the face.
those things, you know. Like,
but I was drawing like this. I was like, like looking up.
I know. I like that. So just like add those pictures.
Yeah. Okay. Add pictures. Notes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna like start editing your information in the website this weekend. So you know those like information we are like translating now. So we're gonna kind of like creating your page. So in my website, it's gonna be your section talking about only you.
Okay.
So I need that. So I'm going to like translate, and then the two reports so far, and then the today's report, I'm gonna just also like add into your section.
And I'll finish the bio today, and you'll get it sent to you.
And then the portfolio editing is quite nice. I'm gonna just add my logo on top of the files.
Yeah. If you wanna, I was thinking, if there was like something you hated in the portfolio or you thought was bad, just cross it out, or just be like, this is shit.
No. I mean that's like showcasing. I'm gonna tell you the feedback. You know,
and then in
the future, yeah. So, but right now, what we are planning to create the page is more about now, the documenting. So,
and then later,
updating. So that's the starting point. So I'm like,
also, I was going to mention the links to the video. So I couldn't do that because of we had the issues last night of getting on the Adobe software. So I don't know if you could do that when you put your watermark on. If I sent you the links, you could just put the links on the page.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you use Adobe Acrobat when you make the PDF?
I do.
So it's if you do that, I'm sure just put the link on.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll send you the links. So you're able to do that if you don't mind, because I couldn't work out how to do it without.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I think that's the move on. The assignment.
Yeah.
Wait, let me just grab water. Give me a sec. Oh, I forgot to tell you. On the profile in the bottom, under your bio, would you mind to mention what you like? Tell people your kind of comments. I mean, like feeling, like what you are like feeling so far with me in the project, and then
in the bio.
No, like the different section. Kind of like comments, to the audience. You know what I mean? Like, like what's going on so far, what you're feeling, and then what you're expecting, those type of word, with me.
Okay, yeah.
It's another section, but that's the.
Okay, so.
Okay, yeah. What did you do?
Yeah, so I've been playing guitar all day and all of yesterday, and I can't think of a way of relating the work.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a lack of understanding of making work from something that's not visual, because you know your guitar isn't visual; it's your ears. So I couldn't. Maybe I'm not smart enough, or I've not learned enough to be able to do that. But I can't. Well, I haven't been able to work out how to make work from my guitar.
Did you take any memo or like sketch or something? You just read, right?
I did not a lot. I was thinking about songs that I could work from, and there was a Beatles one that I really liked, and I was gonna. It's "Cry Baby Cry" by the Beatles, because I thought I was being Mardy. Mardy means stroppy.
Okay.
Because that's not even all English people. That's just middle that say Mardy. And I was being stroppy about it, and I couldn't really understand it. I was asking my girlfriend Floss, like, what can I do? And my mum, and she was like, I don't know. So I've just started singing like "Cry Baby Cry." So I was thinking about drawing from the lyrics, but I've not done much on it. I wanted to speak to you about it.
Okay, that's nice. I think basically the project what I'm always like do as starting point, just testing out, what's working, what's not working, what I mean? So that's understanding, what I mean? This is good understanding, your music, it's not for example, so many designers are inspired by musics. Playing, guitar, those things, are very important for them. It's because making sounds is creation, right? So they're kind of creating, expressing somehow, they cannot really speak, they cannot really explain the feeling that they make something to express, right? So that's kind of I saw you are doing the similar way, probably, or not, what I mean? And that's good. You are more about lyrics, right? Kind of do you make your original songs?
Not many. I used to a lot more than I do now. But I think because I was 7 days a week, I didn't play. I didn't have a guitar with me all the time, and I think I lost confidence in singing a little bit, so I stopped.
So when you are playing guitar and making music, at the moment, did you want to study fashion, or you really wanted to be the artist? I mean, singer.
At the start, yeah, it was music. I was going to do music, probably about 4 years ago. But then I kind of started to prefer art a lot more and drawing. And then garments.
Why?
I think it's more personal. Art existed when people weren't there. Whereas music, it's if the tree falls in the forest and no one heard it, did it make a sound? Because no one was there to hear it. So if you make music on your own, no one hears it, so it's less of a medium, so you feel less of an achievement out of it. Whereas with your pictures, you can draw and draw and draw, and that will always exist, whether people look at it or don't look at it. But whereas with the music, it kind of had to be seen. I had to perform that was the medium, like for people to see it.
So
So I preferred that.
When did you get the idea? Like
Which idea?
I mean, like how you realized? Like, what's the moment you just like, oh, like I'm not wanna like do music. I don't wanna just make you know what I mean? Like
I think it was quite sad. Basically, I was using a loop pedal, so like you press it, it records, and you play something else. So you go like ding 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 ding, ding and then that records, and then you go doom doom, and that records. And basically, I was doing that on stage, and the amp was too close, so it was recording, and it fed back, and it just kind of blew up, and there was just noise because it kept recording what it was hearing. And it went really badly, and I had to like move the amp whilst playing, and I got like quite a lot of criticism. And someone that was a musician that was there, he said like, that boy will never go anywhere. He will fail. He shouldn't be on. He will never do anything with his life. And like, I was confident, and like, what are you saying? Like, he didn't say it to me, but he said it to someone I know. And I couldn't believe it. So part of me was like, fuck that, I'm not doing it. But
I see. That's yeah. So then, when you had that, you are very sad or upset or like mad.
Not because of him, just because of how bad it went.
Sad or upset.
Yeah.
So you were sad, and then you decided to quit.
No, because I still perform, but solo, yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
So solo, so
me
and my own.
Solo, okay.
Whereas I play all the time with the band.
Okay.
And I sing with the band, and like we're really good, I think.
So so you are sad again. So the moment you are sad, so at the moment you kind of start thinking to do something else, and then you met art.
Yeah, that's when it was like, I'm going to the art department,
Okay.
And I hated the art teacher.
What?
I hated the art teacher.
Okay. You hate it, but why you decided to go for the art?
I think because it's just not, because I want to say easier, but it wasn't easier because I always did it like when I was young. Like I was learning guitar when I was like 5. So I never really learned because I was so young. Like there was no struggle. Like if I tried to learn something now. But art felt quite easy. Like I knew what I had to do. I just had to draw. Like there was no strain on it. It was just quite natural and an easy thing to do, I think. And like, I quite like making things that people were like, oh yeah, I really like that. And I quite like seeing what people liked as well, like understanding why they didn't like this piece, but they liked that piece more than music, because music, I guess, was more individual. Like people had their own opinions a lot more than art at the time. Like people everyone kind of liked that piece and everyone hated that piece. Whereas with music, it was like, I like this music, you like that music.
I mean, like, I just really realized, like, it's so interesting. It's never gonna happen in with any other students in my life. So anytime I ask you a question, right? Like, I could really feel you like very smart, like, I think like you are answering like kind of like informations based, what I mean? Okay. So I'm asking like why you want to do art. So you basically start, art is about, compared to music, like very, very general information, quite like so many informations like you're giving me, which is like, oh yeah, like it's true. But I'm just asking simple question, like why, like you are sad, you kind of like wanted to do something else, and then like you start art, right? So in general idea, what you said correct, totally agree with you. So, but like you just kind of start painting.
I'd always done art.
Okay.
So when I was young, because of where I live, and I was like, you know, everyone that was near me was like a lot older. Like my mate was a lot older, and I used to trace a lot, and like draw out of books a lot. But that never really went anywhere.
You know, this is very like, you know, the answer including your identity. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I was playing guitar, I failed at some point, and I saw like I want to do something else to express myself. Then I decided to do the drawing. It's because I was doing it since I was a kid.
I think I've always wanted to be good at stuff. Like, it's almost quite lazy, I think. Like, when I actually think about myself, I think that I'm quite lazy because I work hard, but only, I don't know how to say it, but I want to be good. Like, if I'm not, like, I really want to be the best, especially when I look back. Yeah, it's such a bad thing though, really, isn't it? Because,
I mean, like, I think, like, you know, like proud, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like always, I always have that proud myself. Yeah. So like same, I always wanted to be the best somehow if I do something. So that's like,
music failed, so I did art. Do you know what
I mean?
I think?
I think got it. Like I played baseball like 6 years when I was a kid. I was okay, so I've never been confident. I tried, I failed, and I just never like I don't want to play like baseball again. Like so like I think like that's kind of makes sense, you know what I mean? Like kind of the young, you know, if I was like, you know, everybody like, you know, dreaming, I want to be like, you know, professional baseball player, I joined, you know, and I'm not the best in that team. So I think like that quite makes sense. That's like you kind of like switch to a different field, right? It's because you like drawing when you were a kid. Same things. I love drawing. I always do that. Then I never really tried it because like, you know, getting older, people gonna like, oh, like stop drawing, do study. You know what I mean? Like, you know, kind of way. So like, I never really saw like drawing, like making art gonna be my things. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of like, you know, the normal way. And then that's, right now, so far I got your identity a bit, you know what I mean? So I think that answer doesn't need to be very, you know, informational, you know, kind of academic, you know.
You can say bullshit if you want.
No. That's like things like, you know, that's like, I feel like that's quite interesting, you know, like you like say, it's basically, I think I think between you and your friends, maybe like, you know, talking about just like honest story isn't cool. You know what I mean? I think more kind of like, you know, kind of the battle, you know, that based on the talking, you know, I know that things. I know this academic, you know, smart things, you know what I mean? So I think that's kind of like, you know, giving you some sort of protection to talk about you, you know. But I think it's just like based on conversation, if we keep going doing this, I think you're gonna be like, you know, comfortable telling me you are like, you know, bad memory, you know. So that's just the thing. So you decided to like do the drawing again, right? So then what did you do after?
So I got a better grade in my art than I did my music. Like my performance, I did really well in the music, but the theory I didn't really like. But whereas my art teacher really, really hated me because it was all about kind of being like drawing like photographs, you know, like how well can I draw? How well can you draw? Whereas for me, it was like, could I make something really cool and different? Not even deep, like not even like this line thicker than that line because of this. It wasn't like that. It was just like I want to be something different and like a little bit edgy compared to the other photographs. But yeah, I don't think my GCSE was that good. But my art teacher really, really didn't like me because I didn't really listen. I think like realistically, fair enough. Like,
of course, yeah. Teacher gotta hate you.
And she predicted me a C. So I was like applying to college, and I was like, okay, I need to take my predicted grades. Can I have one, please? And she was like, yeah. And she gave me a C. And I was like, I'm not going to get a C. Please give me a like realistic predicted grade, because I need to apply with this. Like, this is what they're going to read. And she stuck with it. And I was like, I'm not going to get a C. And I got an A in the end.
Oh, okay.
So like, I was fuming. So I had to go to this interview with a C. But luckily they laughed about it, because they could see that my work was like quite good. And I was just like, I don't know, I'm a art teacher. And they were like, okay.
So that's like art class, right? That's quite nice. That's quite yeah, that I could imagine. Like, I was so bad. Like, I mean, like, I didn't really go like high school. So I failed. I'm not failed, but I was failed. So I left my home when I was 15 years old.
Oh, really?
So I start like just living myself, and then start like doing part-time job to survive.
Wow.
I have like high school degree. I went just like 1 day a week, that kind of online kind of base, like high school.
Yeah.
So got it. Like, like I was just thinking how was in high school. I'm of course I'm not gonna like listen, just like I don't smoke now, but like when I was like kid, I try to be like edgy. Cooler, like smoke and do like drink, those type of like cool stuff I was always trying to do. So then I think that tried to shape me, my identity, but at some point I didn't really enjoy it, what I mean? It's not really not feeling right, what I mean? Like feeling something uncomfortable at the same time. I was doing it because I wanted to be a cool young. So I think like that story kind of like, that showing me your personality as well. So like the kind of like negotiation C2A, that's like all the time happening, between like teacher with sort of bad student, with talent, what I mean? The talent people could be very sassy, edgy, what I mean? So like, don't really like show the respect, but that's something cool behavior, to others, So I think that's good. So you did like this art classes, right? And then with the A grade, did you apply to the CSM foundation?
No, so I went on to so that would have been 2017, so I'd have been 16, and you finish your GCSEs and you do A levels, which is like the level above for 2 years. But instead of that, I went to the UAL graphics design. The level 3 that I speak about.
Right.
So I did just that for 2 years. And I got my grade in that. And then I went on to the UAL foundation. Okay.
So why did you decide to study graphic?
My best friend's mum was a teacher there, and she was like, you'd be best at this. And I was doing like really pen and paper, like using these sort of pens, like really, detailed stuff. I've got some pictures downstairs of what I did. Do you want me to get you them?
Yeah.
Like 1 second.
Yeah.
My mum framed them, and they're on the wall downstairs now.
That's nice. Oh, wow.
That as well.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I did. So like, That's what I was interested in.
That's your family?
No, Dad's friends.
Friends, okay. Wait, your friends, how old are they?
Dad's.
Oh, okay.
Dad's friends.
Dad's
All my friends were 50.
Right. I like what like your friendship is quite interesting. Like, you know, we talk about your friends and
He's 14.
Right?
They grow up really fast in the UK.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. And did you enjoy doing the graphic study?
No, I hated it.
So why?
I hated it because they kept asking us to do like fucking tea bag designs and like tea bag boxes and mate. And I just wanted to make fashion. Like I actually realised there, because there was a fashion course as well. And my friend on that fashion course where I did graphics, he did fashion. He's now gone to CSM women's wear, BA. And like I was seeing what he was doing, I was like, oh mate, you know, and like what those guys on fashion were doing, like just pattern making, just that medium of, even if you weren't very good, the fact that you got a garment out of it was just so cool to me. Like whereas what I was doing was what they were doing for, like they were already drawing because they had to draw for their fashion as well. So I wanted to change on the second year. Like I was like, can I change? But the fashion course was BTEC, which is like a different, and mine was UAL. So like I couldn't swap because there were different awarding bodies. So yeah, I didn't get into, I only applied for one fashion school after that, and that was St. Martin's BA menswear. And I didn't get in. I had no fashion skill. So I applied to the foundation with the UAL. So did that, which was in fashion.
Okay, that's clear. So then, you kind of like, you know, of course, like, you know, that when you are like younger, you are figuring out what to do, right? So kind of like you had a dream to be like singer. So kind of you are doing well at this point. Something happened, being sad, and then realize like, you know, what you are like always interested in was drawing. So you are like, you know, drawing. So drawing, like, you didn't think you're gonna be like painter or something, right? More kind of like the graphic drawing type, and then you kind of like, you know, try to study graphic as you are kind of professional, and then you realize you didn't really enjoy it. It's because like
I'm not even sure that I was gonna be a graphic designer. Like I don't think that's what I thought I was gonna do.
Oh, you just
when I was there. I think I just wanted to do the course in art because it was graphic design and 3D. That's what it's called. Well, it's called 3D and illustration. So it's like graphics and then brackets, 3D illustration. And I thought, you know what, that's cool. Like I was making sculptures and I liked the idea of concrete and I liked the idea of all that kind of stuff, as well as the illustration. And my final collection for that was fashion. You know, the air ink stuff that I featured in this, you might not remember. Oh, it's in my portfolio. This one. This was for my graphics.
Oh, that's from the course.
That's from the graphics course.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the final collection. These trousers that I made because they didn't teach it. I had to go to a friend's, my grandma's friends, who was a dressmaker, who helped me make them using a Vogue pattern. And they were really high-waisted. I really wanted to be dead cool, you know, and like skater. So I had to wear a baggy t-shirt and never ever pull the t-shirt up.
I see.
They came up to like here. They came up to like and the pocket's like there.
Like
But they look cool because I'm wearing them. I think they were unbuttoned and like super baggy in the photos, you know, here.
Yeah, looks cool.
But they were like Vogue patterns.
I see.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very clear. I think like your way is more like illustration, but like more kind of like sculpture, 3D way combination of like your drawing, and then your work kind of like, I think like that's just naturally like, you know, you like the dressing up, right?
Yeah, well, I like to look nice. Like that coat was expensive, and like I do spend a lot of money on clothes.
But you like style, right? Like styling, kind of like yourself, right?
Yeah.
So that's clear. I think just, you know, how you kind of like, you know, naturally meet fashion, because like fashion is always attractive, you know, to everyone, you know, like it's so normal, you know, people just want to do fashion because it's so cool, you know, it's just
cool.
Yeah, just cool, you know. I think just kind of like you met fashion is because fashion is cool, you know.
Yeah.
So kind of you decided and then go to the foundation class, and then what was like, how was that? Like, did you like enjoy a lot?
It was pretty rubbish because it was good. The people were great, and the tutors were good, but the first 3 months were strikes. So the teachers were striking.
Why?
Yeah, so they weren't in.
What do you mean? Like
striking is like
teacher striking for what?
We don't get paid enough, so we're not coming in.
Oh.
For 3 months. 2 months.
The teacher is striking to the school, right?
Yeah.
Then what students gonna do? Like
we didn't go in.
Oh.
So our course was pretty crap. That foundation course is supposed to be like that year you discover yourself and you work really hard. It's 5 days a week and you understand what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the first kind of 3 months, my girlfriend had gone to Manchester, Met, to do a foundation there, which is a really good foundation. I spent just traveling because mine wasn't on. And then it went on and we missed out on the diagnostic. So the diagnostic was like what you want to do and the learning. So we just went straight onto the fashion. And then Corona then hit about, you know, just when we started the FMP. So we didn't get the FMP. So I got 2 projects throughout my time at the foundation. And they were 4-week projects. So we were only there for like 8 weeks. So it was pretty poor, to be honest.
So what you did in the course is like your B project.
Yeah.
I guess that's the project.
That was
right?
like you had to do. But then the spray painting. So the B project was like in the diagnostic start of fashion. Can you take an image and repeat it 30 times using different media? And then I went out and spray painted that night and I was like, what am I going to spray paint? And we spray painted that B. So that wasn't college. That was just me doing spray painting.
What else?
The Hotel Mumbai was kind of basically none of it. So the bits that I didn't include, I don't know if we've got any images on here. I did like a knitwear one that wasn't very good, where I booked a swimming pool and took photos of knit underwater that was like over your face, and that was about like plastic waste in the water. I did that, and the wet dress, you know, the water dress, the toilet roll one. That was like, we watched the film and they wanted us to respond to the film, and the film was about time. And then I did that because I was like, how can I make a garment related to time? I could make a garment that changes over time. But apart from that, let me just have a scroll through it.
Yeah.
The life drawing was like live drawing was a session during school.
Yeah.
And the sleeping bag.
Okay.
So you know the flowers and the sleeping bags. They were like the last days. Yeah, that was like the last day that we were in. And I did the newspaper on the last day as well, but that was just because I was like thinking. That wasn't because of a brief. So you know the newspaper, this one.
Yeah.
So you can see this here, the black. It makes so much sense with the cutouts because it's blocked. And someone I've been, that went to Antwerp, he's a designer in Nottingham. He really, really loved this, and he kind of wanted one. So I said, okay, I'll do one for you. So every day I've been going to get a Times, and that black looks perfect. I was like, oh, okay, I'll just get another one. And every time it's white. I can't find a black one. So on the one day I went in to get this paper and I was feeling morbid, it was black and like in a bold. And I've been in literally every day, like most days since, and they're all the same. So if that's not a sign, what is?
That's nice.
That was definitely a sign that it was going to be crap.
I mean, definitely, results you should add, to your portfolio for sure.
Okay.
Every day is like white, and one day was black.
Yeah.
So that's I think kind of got it like your story, and then kind of also got it why playing guitar is not really working for you at this moment, but I'm very sure it's gonna merge together in the future.
I know. I think I've accepted the fact that it will be important, but not now. I can't work out now. I think it's literally a lack of understanding. I can't see.
I mean, hearing this story, I would love to, I just thinking, I was just excited to see if you make work, artwork based on the moment, you are sad, you kind of, the moment you are failed, from the music industry. That's kind of I want to hear more about that scene, but I don't want to just have a chat because it's kind of you are it's kind of scar, it's kind of painful, for you, of course, to remembering those things, being sad, being very painful moment, but at the same time there's so much potential, interesting story, and so much potential to introduce yourself. You know what I mean?
Do you think I should ask to meet that guy and speak to him?
Yeah, of course. Just I let's say I'm feeling so much potential from here because you don't want to talk about this in general, kind of to so many people. I failed. But that's the reality, you know what I mean? So if you can create art based on this, that could be so strong and so much interesting, you know what I mean? Kind of an introduction of your life, you start playing guitar from 5 years old, and So then you saw you are doing good enough, and I'm believing, I can imagine you are doing very, good, and at some point, someone literally ruined it, you know what I mean? Kind of with one word. That could be the title of your artwork, you know what I mean? And then you are very thankful to the guy make you stop playing a guitar is because you are being happy doing fashion design.
Yeah.
Kind of you should thank you him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that kind of like story you can like bring, you know, and then having interview, like asking him again, you know, and then you just say like, start like, oh, thank you, like, you know, that changed my life actually, you know. So that kind of like art piece, you know, if you can make and if you're gonna put in your portfolio, that's gonna be so interesting, you know. Like this is the reason why people have to do an interview, you know what I mean? So why you made this, and then you start, I was playing guitar, you know, and then I was, you know, doing good, and at one point and then you just like express the story with the details, or you know, with the kind of like texture, or like whatever the like final piece, you know. You just kind of, you know, serving your story based on your final, you know, piece.
Yes.
So then the portfolio looks gonna be so interesting because you're gonna add the picture of you playing guitar, picture of your band.
I think I've got the image of the gig that went bad.
Oh.
I think I have photos from that gig.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, that's interesting to, you know, look at, you know, as a portfolio, you know. And then that's good introduction, you know.
Do you think, because even now I'm thinking about it, I find that quite difficult. How am I going to make work from like a drawing from something that isn't physical? I'm really good at observational, but not so much out of my head.
So let's say...
So I think for me, I'm quite structured in a way. Like, if you said, do this, a Photoshop an oil pastel, you know, I'd do that, but I
think like, let's say, let's start making this like failed moment as a like new project. Okay. So what's first step is like do your research about the moment. So like just do the like observation, you know, about yourself, why I was failed, you know, what's wrong, you know what I mean, what I did. And then ask him like why he said that or something. So do the research around the moment. And then also ask to your band member or something, you know, like what do you think? You know what I mean? Like those kind of research around the moment. And also like ask your brother or girlfriend, like, you know, like how you are being around the moment. Maybe like you are extremely sad. Everyone knows or something, you know what I mean? Okay. So, you know, like kind of like remembering the moment at the same time, collecting the like more information about you. Kind of like think, you know, you are making your own documentary around the moment. So you need to collect different scenes, you know, of different people, what they think, you know what I mean? So kind of objecting, like kind of like projecting the moment from different angles.
Say that again, because I was writing.
Oh yeah. Right.
So from different angles,
So I'm like just like thinking this is like imagination, you know. Let's say you are like projecting the moment, right, when you are failed. Yeah. So you already know, like from your side, you know, you are one projection, right? But you need to collect different angles from different people, you know, what like, you know, others are seeing the same like moment. So do that research. Okay. And you're gonna get like information, right? So that's gonna be the key point to find the materials, you know, to embody, you know, the start making art, you know. So even like doing the sketch is the first step, of course, you know, like kind of like just take a note, you know, collecting your feeling at the moment as well. And do the research why you are failed, what did you think, collect the pictures of the moment as well.
Okay, because I'm thinking what went wrong was basically echo and reverb. So if I had a certain material or if I had a certain thing, it wouldn't have happened. So maybe if I work with that.
Yeah, you know, it could be performance again, you know what I mean? As an art performance, that could be one choice. You do play guitar as an art performance again, not just like being as a musician. It's different platform, you know what I mean? So like as an art, you will never be failed, you know what I mean? It's art, you know, even though the echo, like your speaker is something wrong, but it's art. If it's art, it's you know, something. So I think like you can also play with, you know, that's why I love art, you know what I mean? I'm no more being a musician. I'm an artist. Nothing is wrong with my sound, you know what I mean? That's a very strong statement, you know? So those things like you can start with, you know, think, you know, what you want to do as an artist using the moment when you are a musician, you know, what's different, you know, how like you could be confident with the mistake, you know. So I think that's kind of like could be very nice expression as well. And then do the, you know, observation as well, you know, around like different people's voice. And then, you know, make it very dense, you know what I mean? So like you do performance, but based on the very, very like, you know, strong research, you know, so then your work gonna be very stronger and very interesting to hear, you know. I think it doesn't need to be like, you know, the drawing or object, you know, could be performance or it could be some sort of sculpture, I don't know. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's very much kind of, you start doing research, you kind of like testing out, and then you maybe, you know, play the same guitar again and then like test it out, or, you know, like kind of like research around, you know, any sort of like, you know, object you can also touch, you know. And then take a note and do the sketch or thinking if I'm gonna do same stage, what I would do, you know what I mean? Like, you know, what you gonna bring. You're gonna maybe like scream at the guy, like shut up, you know what I mean? Or like, you know, that what you would do, you know what I mean, with the moment. So play with the moment and then just like kind of use this like mistake as a really interesting ingredient, you know. You just like gonna cook, you know. You're gonna cook, like you're gonna serve amazing meal, you know, with like very weird, you know, ingredients, you know what I mean? So I think that just like start, so that's the definition for me, like, you know, making portfolio, kind of creating art objects is part of meditation, you know. So like, for example, I'm using so much my trauma as my inspiration as well, because I don't want to look back and being sad again, you know what I mean? I just like, you know, I just want to be happy, but I have like some trauma, which, you know, I still feeling so sad. So I just do research and try to overcome and then create the art object. And I just need to talk about my art, you know what I mean? So I just need to like think, overcome, you know, how I can project this, you know. So I think this is one thing we're gonna like work on. And then project by project, you're gonna bring different type of struggle and then overcome and then becoming very positive memory, you know. And then during this, like, you know, meditation exercise, you're gonna get more confident, you know, talking about your, you know, art, you know, because that's including so much individuality, you know, the identity, personality as well. And then sometimes very interesting to talk about your memory to your friends as well. I read this because you guys fucking said that to me, you know, or something. So those type of a conversation you will enjoy in the end, you know what I mean? So I think do that research. Thursday. Let's link up Monday. And talk about this. Okay. So do as much as you can. This first step is very important. You know, I really need to know what's happening around the moment. So you just bring like pictures as much as interview if you can do. You know, like correct, and then take picture, take note. You know, if you played like record. Okay, so from now you are going to make work for your portfolio. So collecting like materials, like do the research and then take picture and then upload the Google Map, Google Drive before Monday. So like just play with it. So that I can see, you know. So think like this first step, you are introducing you again to me. So just like, you know, as much as information you can give me, that would be so nice.
Okay.
And also including your aesthetic as well.
Okay.
So if it should be black and white, please keep black and white. If it should be colorful, it should be colorful. You know what I mean? So like I'm also going to feel your aesthetic as well.
Okay, yeah.
As an artist.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay. I can do that.
Yeah. So that's very important step, you know. So I think like the reason why I said playing guitar is definitely like playing guitar was, you know, very important, you know, story of your life.
To my fashion. I didn't see that, but now I understand.
Very important because like your storyline, if you talk about your life as an artist, that's so important. Right now, like today, what we, you know, said about you, your life is very clear to me. You know, very clear to audience. You play guitar, failed, start drawing again, and then curious about graphic 3D illustration, and then you make fashion.
Yeah.
So that's important introduction about you. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's kind of, you know, create this failed moment. I think you can definitely like get, you know, why it's important, you know, during the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do that for Monday. I think then also please update your bio and then adding your comments, your feelings so far, you know, your expectation, blah, blah, blah in the end. And then also talk about your school situation, you know.
Yeah.
Like you are like in the middle, you know, enrolling university or not, you know, the applying Antwerp. This is the kind of, you know, question mark, you know, so far.
Yeah.
But probably you're gonna get answer before September, you know. I'm gonna also like, you know, give you other type of informations, you know. I'm gonna have a different guest, you know. You're gonna like meet different opportunities as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's why I need you are confusing, you know, as a document. Okay. So do that, and then portfolios. Send me the link. I'm gonna put the link into your portfolio.
Okay.
I think that's it. So until Monday, you focus, you know, your portfolio making, and then me, you know, Monday same time. If it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Next is Monday, same time. Then I'm gonna give you feedback, and then if I have something else for Wednesday, Thursday for case study or internship, we're gonna discuss on Monday again.
Okay, great.
Great.
Sweet.
Do you have any questions?
No, that's okay. That's, I think, a happier starting point. You know, my head is, you know, doing a bit more than it was when it was something with your guitar, because I was like, oh God, I was just dreading it. But this I can kind of get a bit more from it, I think.
I'm pretty sure like you will be like different person. You know, I'm documenting, right? If you're gonna look, you know, like rewatch, I think, you know, like I think 2 months later you're gonna be different for sure.
With a nicer haircut, hopefully.
Yeah, you will be
different because I've got nice hair.
Yeah.
If everything else fails.
That's happening.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but that's good. Yeah, just like reach me out anytime, you know, if you have any questions. Yeah. So see you Monday, same time then.
See you Monday at same time.
Okay.
Thanks, mate. All right. See you soon.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.